Art is subjective, but with a commission, that changes. The client's vision becomes a reality, and that's what makes a commission so unique. Harnessing their passion and energy and conveying that into a legacy of sculpture is a journey like no other. These artworks will be in these families for generations to come. Bronze is as eternal as diamonds. The collaborative nature of a commission is really exciting for both parties, I think. They'll give you their dream and then you have to make that a reality. So from that they get an idea of the sort of thing they would like. Looking at many of our sculptures over the years, they started to want a piece of this and a piece of that, and they'd like that in their commission, which is really fun. I know, and that's a real good part of it. They'd seen the turtle in the sphere, but their passion was to have a manta ray done. The dynamics, the beauty of a manta ray, great animal, full of wisdom, unbelievable to dive with. So for us then to start to get involved in that and create that, these sort of projects really lead us into ways that, well, perhaps we wouldn't have gone, you know, because we did the turtle. There's many other animals and beautiful creatures in the world to do. But the manta ray, would it have been? I'm not sure. But what it was a challenge. But personally, I've loved it. Loved doing this piece, and it's just come out magical, and I couldn't be any happier with it. Them seeing it evolve is fantastic for us, and it's just a great journey. So once we've got that bit of direction, the next stage is then final finishing, where you can have it clean, surface area to give it movement, and everything's about power and dynamics for me. I love dynamics, I love movement. And when a client brings something like this that has that, it just sings, you just almost can't wait to get your teeth into it. And the amount of skills we have to put into that, from once they decide what they want, we will then give the texture to it, the surface, we'll do the pencil drawings to give them a quick instant visual of the idea that they then agree on. So then we start to get the forms, the twists, and this one particular was the wings, shaping them so as they turned it, they could see all the forms of it. And once the piece is signed off, we're ready for moulding. This piece, it was very challenging because of the wings, the dynamics. We use a silicone and a fiberglass backing to create a nice jacket. And then from in that, once we've done from the, how would you say, the maquette, once that's done, them parts are taken away. And then the mould is put back together again without the piece in, which is where we pour what they call the lost wax process. Then once that's done, roll the hot wax in. We roll it several times, get layers so it's nice and even, or semi-even, because everything we do is hand done. And then they're taken out, and then we end up with a lost wax manta ray. And then the challenges are putting it together while it's warm, working the lost waxes, creating it all again in hollow wax. And once we're happy with that, and we've got all the dynamics, the smooth, all the lines are lost, and that's then ready to be sprued for the bronze feeds and the risers, which then ends up looking, each part ends up looking like a chandelier to get the bronze into the furthest areas and the closest areas, and then the exhaust coming off to allow the air to get out. Otherwise it air traps and you get a bad cast. So then it has to be all sprued, mounted, ready. So they end up looking very beautiful actually when they're carried, suspended in air, ready for the bronze. Once all them pieces are done, we then start shell casting. So we have our own mix that we've done now for the last nearly 25 years, and that is our mix, and we have to look after that every day, and we start coating. We normally put on about 8 coats, so 1 a day, and then once the coats are dried in between and we're happy with the way they've dried, we make sure everything is hard and solid, because any moisture captured in it just explodes and breaks apart. And this happens within the foundry work, whatever you're doing. So we're always careful. It's still a long process down the line to get this crude part of it done. So once it's gone to its ceramic, we then burn it. And then that's when all the lost wax comes out, and we end up with a translucent hot shaft of the shell, which is beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful to look at when they're in the oven. And that's all gone out. The shell then goes pure white. Once that's ready, we get that into the pit. We get our molten metal up to speed, the bronze. As soon as that's ready, we pour instantly in there. We have seconds to get it in. So we let that then chill. As soon as that is chilled, we're ready then to get the big cast ceramics out of the pit. The anticipation of pouring molten metal still exhilarates me today after 30 years. You can see the life, the sparks, and the energy and the movement of the bronze. When poured, gives each piece individuality. The history and the legacy of bronze inspires creation. It's an emotion connected with the elements of the earth. Being consumed by the fires of creation is a passion for me. Bronze is as eternal as diamonds. So we take them out of the pit, and then we start smashing them off, break all that ceramic. And that's the first time you actually see this piece it's almost its birth really, the first time it comes out, that first part of the shell. And then we can see how good the casts are, the surface area. We check all the surface areas, make sure we're really happy in case we have to cast again, which sometimes does happen, but very rarely. But then we cut all them bits off, and all the sprues and the risers, the chandelier bit I told you about that suspended that piece of sculpture, all has to be cut off. So that all has to be cut, cleaned, chased back in by hand. That's all clean chased. Once we've got all them pieces polished like gold, then we assemble it again. So then we'll tack weld it, look at it, clean it all, get all the joints all working. Once we're happy with that, we'll then weld all that in, finish it all off. Then we start chasing, filing, hand chasing, and that process takes time. But that's the love of doing bronze. Once it's all clean, looking beautiful, we start to put colour on it with dark sides and patina colours, and then it becomes alchemy at this point, where we heat it up, we start putting the chemical reactions on. There's a bit like watercolours, they bleach, colour change, and that process is amazing. It evolves, even, you don't always have control. And that's the nice thing about it that makes it so organic in the patina. It just evolves itself. It's like letting colours just run into each other. And then that's the part where you want the client to go, wow, you know, it's just physically beautiful. The vision of colour is magic, and each piece changes. This one in particular, the Manta ray, we used a lot of liver and ferric nitrates, but allowed it to come rich brown with the bronze coming through on translucent. It just looks stunning, absolutely stunning. And the gills let the light through, so it becomes more dynamic. The more you look at it, the more you're seeing, and that's how a good patina should be. And we were just I just fell in love with the piece myself. It was just absolutely beautiful. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.